and this is a little memory I'd like to share. So it's called The Garden. Sometimes treasure is hiding in plain sight, like the old Victorian that hid a secret garden. It was last in a row of stately old houses standing shoulder to shoulder in various states of disrepair. Yet its backyard was an oasis in an urban desert of concrete. The garden overflowed with layers of riotous greenery, towers of tomatoes intertwined with runner beans, while squash vines ran loose like semi-feral pets. Dwarf fruit trees provided color and sustenance, everything from apples and persimmons to oranges and lemons. A towering chain-link fence encased with vines of kiwi, wisteria, and climbing rose kept the garden hidden. The vegetation was so thick you could almost forget you were in the city. So thick you barely noticed the sirens and gunshots that were the constant soundtrack to the once prosperous neighborhoods of West Oakland. When my mom asked me if I was willing to join her on a work trip to Oakland to babysit my kid sister, 13 years my junior, I readily accepted because I love that garden. Yet outside the boundaries of our friend's urban oasis was another world. The streets were littered with abandoned cars, coated in layers of dust that accumulated like tree rings. Refuse and broken bottles clogged the gutters like leaves. Deep bass thumpings rattled windows as Cadillacs and Buicks with shiny chrome rims cruised slowly by, their occupants hidden behind tinted glass. There was one rule for guests: don't wander around outside. While her mom was away, my energetic 4-year-old sister soon grew restless of being confined. She wanted to explore the school playground next door. I was puzzled because I could never tell if the school was still functional or if it had been abandoned. While hunting for ripe oranges one morning, we were greeted by the sounds of kids playing. My sister pleaded and then demanded that I take her to the playground. My excuses rang hollow, so off we went. The playground was bursting with unattended children. The youngest ones, about my sister's age, swarmed all the low-to-the-ground installations, while kids twice their age had taken over all the high ground. Bare-chested young men engaged in boisterous games of basketball, but they seemed to be paying no attention to the children. No teachers were to be seen. As we entered the playground, silence swept over the crowd like a tsunami. A basketball bounced loudly, and then it too went quiet. We had crossed an invisible threshold of some kind. Or maybe, I realized, it was just that I was white, and my sister, whose father is Native American, looked Japanese, while everyone else on the playground was black. I risked a glance at the basketball court. Faces mean-mugged me, as if to say, "You don't belong here, fool. This is our turf." My sister was nervous too, yet she was born with a stubborn streak and pointed at the swings. We walked over and I boosted her up, pushing her as she kicked out her feet. The swing squeaked loudly against the hushed silence. Everyone continued to stare, glued in place as if midway through a game of freeze tag. Seconds stretched to minutes. Finally, a little girl approached and asked, "Hey, mister, will you push me too?" "Sure," I replied. As soon as she was swinging, bottled-up commotion and noise erupted, and basketballs resumed bouncing. Calls rang out of, "Hey, mister, push me too." Before long, I was running up and down the length of the swing set, and 8 little pairs of feet were kicking towards the sky. The older kids took notice and were soon clamoring for my attention. Hey, mister, watch this," someone cried out. I looked up to see a boy of about 8 standing on the monkey bars. With a mischievous grin, he launched himself into the air. I watched with horror as he plunged towards the hard ground head first in an apparent act of martyrdom. Yet with cat-quick reflexes, his body twisted in the air and his feet landed squarely, completing a perfect flip. "Wow," I exclaimed, "that was incredible." My praise was like lighter fluid on a campfire. All the kids gathered around, shrieking and cheering, as the youngster and 2 of his friends proceeded to land a variety of flips and twisting aerial tricks like expert gymnasts. I asked if they took lessons. "No, mister, we taught ourselves," they answered with proud grins. "Well, you guys are amazing. You should be in the Olympics," I said, realizing that they probably wouldn't, but not for a lack of talent. Eventually, my sister and I made our way back to the house and garden, tired but satisfied. The kids waved to us goodbye with wild enthusiasm. As we were leaving, I noticed the guys on the basketball court smiling at us, and one even gave me a nod of approval. I will always remember that day. It is a cherished memory of my sister's childhood, yet it is so much more. It is a lesson that bountiful gardens can grow anywhere as long as they are cared for and nourished.